if you work with InDesign, you probably work with a lot of text. And if you work with text, you're probably not writing it most of the time. It's probably coming from another human being or a machine or an algorithm that doesn't know, understand, or care what the text needs to look like for your layout. So you're probably used to having junky, crappy text delivered to you, dirty text that's full of, extra spaces, extra carriage returns, and all sorts of other stuff that needs to be fixed. And fortunately, InDesign has pretty robust find and change feature, and so you can do that. You can work with your document and bring up find and change, and just start stepping through all of these find and change operations and just run them one after the other. All the find and change operations you need to clean up your text. And you can do that, and InDesign's got some really fantastic find and change features like regular expressions and glyphs and object properties that you can find and change on. It's pretty cool. However, the fact remains that if you've got a lot of cleanup to do, you're often manually running one after the other these different find and change operations. Well, the purpose of this little video is to expose you to a very, very cool plugin from a guy named Martino de Gloria at Automatication, and it's called MultiFindChange. So what MultiFindChange can do for me is take a whole bunch of typographic problems. Like here I've got little spaces before carriage returns. I hate that. Duplicate carriage returns, I hate those too. I hate double dashes that need to be turned into M dashes or N dashes. I hate all that stuff. But MultiFindChange enables me to take the text from this to this in one step. So rather than having to, execute find and change query after find and change query manually, MultiFindChange will do this in one step for me, and I will now show you how. Installing the scripted plugin is pretty easy. All you need to do is take the MultiFindChange folder that you get from Martino, and you just drop it in your InDesign scripts folder. And it's got multiple components to it, but it's easy to install. You just drop that MultiFindChange folder into the scripts folder, restart InDesign, and then you're ready to go. When you're ready to use MultiFindChange, all you need to do is go up to the window menu and choose MultiFindChange, and then you'll see the nice little flex panel that Martino designed for this plugin. And in the right hand column you'll see a list of all of your saved find and change queries, whether they're text or grep, glyph, or object. Anything you've got saved. And to save a query in InDesign, all you need to do in the find and change dialog box is compose the query here, construct it, and then hit that little save button, give it a name, and then you'll see it's available not only for use in InDesign as a saved query in InDesign's find change dialog box, but then also in the MultiFindChange plugin. And so that's what you see here is a list of those saved queries. Now what MultiFindChange does is it executes a bunch of these queries in order automatically. And what you're doing is you're creating a query set or a collection of queries, and then InDesign will execute these in batch order all at once. And the way to think of this is like iTunes. Think of the query set as your iTunes playlist, and then your queries, individual queries, as individual tracks that you put together. You'll probably want them executed in a specific order here. There's no shuffle command. But other than that, it's a lot like iTunes, and that's the way to think of it. So you can create as many of these sets as you want, and you'll also notice that I can mix and match the different kinds of queries. So I could have grep queries and text queries in there at the same time, and then throw a couple of object queries in there at the end just for good measure. But I could create a very, very extensive query set that does all of my cleanup for the different types of problems that I have in the text files that I get. Okay, so that's the basics of what MultiFindChange does. I want to show you a couple of other nice little features that this scripted plugin has. First of all, if I need to look at a query, if I got a query in the list here and I either need to change it, to fix it, make it do something different, or if I just want to look at it to make sure I understand what it does, I can select it and then hit this button here, which loads it into InDesign's Find and Change dialog. And that's just very handy. I can go in here, change it, resave it, or just look at it, whatever I want to do. And I can do that both over here in the query list or over here when it's in a set. Then also available here is I can select this set, and I can export that set as an XML file, or I can import a set. So these essentially these query sets are portable. Martino has made them portable as XML files, so I can swap with friends, pass them around, whatever, because I can import and export these sets. Another cool little feature is this Share Set button. I'm going to click on that, and it takes me to my Shared Queries folder. Now, what this enables you to do, this feature enables you to do, is to stick a query set on a server somewhere and have multiple people link to it. So instead of the query being stored on your local machine like a standard find and change query set would be in MultiFindChange, this feature enables you to link to a query set that's stored on a server. Not just you, but all of your colleagues as well. So basically it means multiple people can share the same query set, and so as that set is updated and fine-tuned and enhanced, everybody is still linked to that same query set. So that's a nice little feature in this product. Then down here in the lower left-hand corner are just find and change parameters. The scope of the find and change operation. And then another very cool little feature here is, even though there are query options built into these queries already, like on whether or not master pages are included, or invisible layers, etc., you can override the settings built into those queries by just checking this box and then choosing that the options that you want to use. So you can actually override what's already been set in those queries, and that's a pretty nice feature to have as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finally run this query set here, my little text cleanup set on this text here, and you can see that there are trailing spaces. You can see that after that question mark there's a space and a carriage return. Hate those. There's extra carriage returns. There's a double dash, which is supposed to be an M dash there. So I'm just going to do a change all, hit the change all command for this story, and boom, 25 changes were made, and my text was all cleaned up, all in one step. Multiple queries executed against this text, this whole chunk of text cleaned up, thanks to MultiFindChange.